Okay, guys, this is just a quick example of how to export something and what all the different settings do. Okay, so let me pick a reasonably large model. I don't have super dense ones, but let's say I want to export my square. Well, let's say that I don't like where the layout is on it. So here's the layout editor, and currently don't use this unless you're using Android, but because it'll hide your devices on iOS when you upload. So let's say I want to move this square right here. So that's light index 449. Now let's say
trouble hearing.
toggle
Can you
that.
say that again?
When it's toggled, you can just move it, or you can double
I
click,
don't have an answer for that.
or you can select a bunch like this and just move them. It's got a drag and select, right? So now that I've done all that and just really jacked it up, and you see these are double layered, that's why I actually have this button available here for toggle select. I can highlight a specific one and just highlight that one, and I can drag it out of there. The dragging is not perfect currently. Looks like I need to work on that a little bit still. There it goes. I guess it was this act. I don't know why it was doing it. It's working now. Anyway, so I commit changes. Now I can close the window and see. There you go. So now let's export it. We got a few options here. It's a 2D, so most of the stuff's going to be disabled, but I could have forced it to be a 2D. If it's a really giant model, I can choose this to split it into chunks. If it's also really large, this will enable. It has to have at least 1500 pixels. Then this will allow you to export in advanced 2D. It's also enabled if it's a 3D layer. You can force a 3D model into less and less layers this way. If you have a super large model, like say thousands of nodes, this also appears at like 1500, but you can compress it, and what it does is it basically shrinks the X and Y by half when it's placing stuff, but it can cause more errors. And if you get a model that it doesn't know where to put it, it'll put it like at the bottom corner of the layout. And then if you just export it, then there you go. There's your square model. Yes, I do want to replace it. Now let me open up xlights just to show you how the importer works with that. And see, I've got some other super large ones here that I've already exported in different ways. So let's go to layout. Let's import. Oops, skip that. Let's import and say documents. My documents are. I just exported this, so open it. Let's make it large so you can actually see the dang thing. My mouse is acting stupid. But as you can see, it exports exactly the way I said it. So that's how you import models, right? And if I had like a really large one that was, say, split into a bunch of pieces like this, I exported, this was a giant tree, I believe. So let's just import the first part of that and see what it looks like. And you'll notice importing takes longer in this case. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is part of a church stage. It's part of it. And then I would import another piece and then so on. So like this. You want to make them about the same size. Oh, also if you're using the advanced export that layers it, see how this is in layers? all you have to do is come in here and under appearance. Well, first of all, you can just turn off 3D and it looks flat. But if you come in here to appearance and set, this is a weird issue with the way that it imports. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong part. Size and location. So scale Z is always wrong when it imports for some reason. So if you set that to a much smaller number, like say 1, and it's a 2D import suddenly. So if you have to export like something super large, then you would just stitch it together like this. So let me change this so it moves. My mouse is unfortunately being stupid and won't move anything. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I got to do this. Well, first let's get where I can click on the center of it. Now I can shrink it to the, damn it. It really doesn't want to behave. It's a DPI setting on my mouse. It just is stupid. All right, now I can move it. If it'll move. If it will move. God dang it. I mean, you all see me clicking on it, right? It's just, there it goes. All right. And then so on, and then put the rest of the pieces there. Then you end up with only maybe 4 or 5 models that you can make a group out of. And that's your as many as you want layouts. So I've got another one here as an example that I exported as a much larger piece. And let's open that. This is going to take longer to import. I believe this one has the skewing problem. There's another problem with imports in xlights that can happen. But I want to show you something else as well. In fact, I mention it right here. xlights custom models are broken at grid sizes greater than 1,000 by 1,000. So what you want to do is, when you set your export up, you're going to hit test, and it'll tell you that it's going to be 192 by 135. Only one segment in this case. Actually, I'm not sure where that second number is coming from, but it's in segment 1. Normally it would do that if I had split turned on. It's not supposed to be showing a second number there. But anyway, as you can see, xlights is pooping on itself. This is why you don't really want to have single models that are bigger than the system can handle. It just is really, really poor at importing them. It will eventually sometimes work, but I've had it take over a minute to import something. So let's just go ahead and close that. And then what else? I guess that's about it. You can also import, but I have that set up just for 2D imports. But let's see here. So since we haven't saved, let's go ahead and close the program. And then I'm only doing this so I can re-download the real layout. I don't actually know if it's going to work. I haven't tested the import lately. In fact, I don't want to, because this actually applies it immediately and uploads it, unless you log out. If you're logged out, it doesn't upload anything. Okay, so now let's choose squares again. And there's my layout. This time it's pulling it from the device. So let's see if I can override it with that other layout. Documents. I don't actually know for sure if this is going to work. We're going to try it. Stupid thing. square. Here we go. Oh, okay, there you go. So you see that it did in fact import it. Now what you would want to do is, oh yeah, and it tells you that it didn't upload, which it can't because you're not logged in. So then you would want to fix the aspect ratio and resave it. Well, there you have it. There's just about everything involved in the way it works. If you have like a 3D layout, I don't fully support those yet, but you can view them. So let's go ahead and log back in. I have a layout that's not showing up from the screen when I load it because of, well, apparently the string was offline when I mapped it somehow. So anyway, here you go. As you see, there's my 3D layout. You can't even do this on the mobile app. And then, oh yeah, I forgot this part. So let's say I just want to export. I mapped a tree. This is the 250 string, obviously, right? I mapped it as two different spirals, and it looks a little skewed, but 3D stitching is a little jacked up. So let's go ahead and export just the left. Let's do just the left export. And it will do it. So see, it's exporting just that one. And then in xlights, I could open it up and it would just have that one piece in it. Anyway, that's all I got. So I hope that helps you guys use the program. Have a